how young people are getting involved with the political process and making their voices heard. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is Sophia Rubin. She is on the youth committee for the Bucks County Women's Advocacy Coalition. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
You are a young person who wants to be an advocate, who wants to have her voice heard, and that's why you've joined this youth committee. But talk to us a little bit about the idea behind it.
So mostly we focus on looking at legislation that is being passed through the Pennsylvania House or Senate that affects women and children today. And lately we've been mostly focused on gun legislation in relations to schools and how it affects us.
And let's talk specifically about that and why you have this area of focus. You say on a regular basis, you as a student are impacted by gun safety and by gun legislation. What does this mean for you as a student?
So after all of the mass shootings that have been occurring in schools and everywhere, they've started putting in place different protocols and different drills that we have to practice at schools. And it takes time out of our day away from education. And instead of doing the typical lockdown drill where you're sitting in a corner, we're learning how to counter or evacuate and different ways to not even prevent it, but just make it more safe, I guess. But it adds a level of fear and anxiety to most students' lives that we have to practice barricading doors or picking up heavy objects to throw at a shooter if they were to come into the room.
And those are some of the things that you do practice within the school building, but you as part of this youth committee are focused on specific pieces of legislation. You're also making your voice heard by advocating, speaking to legislators as well. You are focused on pieces of legislation including Senate and House bills. Talk to us about what they include.
Senate Bill 383 talks about arming school administrators and school personnel, and so as our youth committee we were strongly opposed to that, as we feel that guns in the hands of teachers, introducing guns into schools would make us feel less safe. So we spoke to many people about that. We spoke to McElhenney about that and Quinn about that. However, it did pass through the House and Senate. We've also spoken to them about Senate Bill 209 and House Bill 1400, which talk about closing gun show loopholes and background checks.
And those are some things that you as a youth committee feel strongly about, but why is it so important for young people to get involved in the political process to make your voices heard?
I think it's especially important today, as with the world changing and how everything's going on, everything affects us as we grow up, and even though we can't vote, it's so important that our voices are heard and that we're able to talk about issues and be proactive on what actually impacts us.
And you are encouraging other young people to get involved with the work that you do. People can visit the website for more information.
Yes.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
We've been talking with Sophia Rubin. She is on the youth committee for Bucks County Women's Advocacy Coalition. I'm Jill Horner.